Mitchell, I've got a problem.
What's that?
It's just really bugging me. Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown. I'm Joshua.
And I'm Mitchell.
And today we've got bugs.
They're
Bugs.
They're getting less buggy. I don't know. This one's pretty buggy.
They're pretty buggy.
They're pretty buggy.
And that's not a complaint.
No, not at all.
I like space bugs as the concept.
I do too.
So we have all of the new Tyranid releases. This is all coming, it's dropping today at time of recording.
Yeah, unfortunately we got these delayed a little bit.
Yes, UPS kind of forgot 2 of our packages,
Whoops.
to say the least. But all of these are beautiful, so let's crack them open and take a look at these brand new Sprues. You want to start small and go large?
Oh yeah, emissary last.
Emissary last, all right. Well, let's start with the one that we've kind of seen before.
Gotcha.
Which is the Hormagaunts.
No, the Termagants are the ones we've seen before.
Right, sorry, I mean seen before as in a glow-up.
Oh, yeah.
So, if I was smart, I would have brought an old Hormagaunt sprue to show you, but I don't have one.
Oh, yeah,
Because
I was
the
gonna
old
ask.
Hormagaunts looked terrible.
They look so bad. Are they two different sprues?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
So, you have 2 different sprues for the Hormagaunts. On the left here, your right, we have most of the heads and the weapons, and on the left we have the bodies. I would like to note that the bodies and tails are one solid piece.
Okay, that's
which
good.
is rather nice.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use this word a lot probably, glow up,
Yeah.
right? Like what an amazing difference between the new Hormagaunts and the old Hormagaunts.
Yeah, I completely agree. It didn't really catch me until I saw these in more detail, but they are so much better.
Yes. The one downside, we kind of referenced this on our Sunday rundown, the one downside is that every single one of these has 1-foot tactical rock syndrome.
Oh yeah, they're all leaping off like a ninja.
Yes, and so the connection points are going to be pretty
Pretty bad.
Yeah. That being said, they do look great and dynamic. Hormagaunts are pretty decent in game.
Yeah, they're your cheap melee unit. They're really fast. They had run and charge. I guess I'm pretty sure they still have that.
They still have run and charge.
And obviously they got the advantages of the codex being the swarm stuff and the extra cover stuff. I think they're decent. I still think that the Termagants are probably better
From a rules perspective.
from a rules perspective.
I agree. Anti-infantry melee right now is not particularly high in stock.
No.
Melee is not particularly high in stock unless you're very good at it.
Also, the other downside with them is there is, as far as I can tell, I guess that could change in some of the codex, but there's no real way to buff these guys.
No.
They're
They're buffed by the Endless Swarm detachment.
they're buffed by that.
But so, everything that buffs Hormagaunts buffs Termagants.
Yeah. And I feel like Termagants, which we should probably open next,
Yes.
do it better, in my opinion. Especially with their new gun options, which we're about to get to.
Yep. So, the Tormagants.
Termagants.
It's where we mix them together into a blender. What we found very interesting is that this is just the Leviathan sprues
Yep.
with a new upgrade. So I'm not going to leave these on here very long. Kind of the same thing. The bodies are all, one piece with most of their leg. They're a little more stable, a little less leapy.
Actually, I think the one on your right is the upgrade sprue.
Oh, yes. That's why, yeah. Because
That's just the third one of those.
yeah, third one of those. Because in Leviathan, it came like this.
Yep.
You had, bodies. It was basically 3 small sprues, honestly. But what's new is this new upgrade sprue with all of the different weapons on here.
That is a fantastic way to do it.
Yes, this is the first time they've done that, I think.
Yeah.
Combined, because
All I can
usually
think of.
the launch boxes are like their own thing, and then they end up selling those sprues later when they want to stuff them into boxes for cheap.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Heroes of the Imperium,
they're still doing that.
the Necron Royal Court.
Yeah. But this one is they just took the same thing, added some extra weapons in there, and put all the weapon options.
Right.
Because the whole unit can have 3 different options, and then you have 3 different special weapons. It's really kind of, do I say elegant?
Yeah. What I would love to see, what would make this a perfect, smorgasbord, would be if you could buy just the upgrade sprue.
I do hope that they do that.
I don't think they will, though.
I don't think they will.
They probably assumed that everyone, and this is probably true, everyone who bought Leviathan just built them as they were.
Yeah.
So why sell just the upgrade sprue?
Yep. You're right. Although I would like the upgrade sprue. Although when I get the upgrade sprue, when I buy one of these boxes, because I will, I'm just going to build all of the special weapons and then put because, why not?
Same, because I have not built my Leviathan Tyranids yet.
I built all mine, so I'm one of those suckers.
So speaking of, sorry, I should actually leave this here. Speaking of the upgrade sprue, what's on here is and they don't have the names of them in here because they don't do languages.
Right.
I forget the names of all the new weapons. But you have what is essentially a flamer that only does devastating wounds because it's strength 2.
Yeah, it's like the web launcher or something like that.
It's functionally a web gun.
It's very similar to the web gun for Genestealer cults, if not literally exactly the same.
There's a just a slightly better version of their existing gun.
It's assault and 18-inch range. It's better.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought it would be 12-inch with a torrent.
Nope, it is pretty long.
It's pretty
long
good.
range, which is nice.
And then there's the shard launcher, which is essentially the Barbgaunt weapon.
Yep.
I am pretty sure it's just dead set the same.
Yep.
Blast, heavy, D3 shots? I think the barb launcher is D6.
The barb launcher is D6, which makes sense. It's not quite as good.
Yeah.
Because it's not quite as big.
True enough. And then the spike rifle is the last heavy weapon.
Right.
The last heavy weapon, which it's only one shot, strength 4, AP 1 damage, and 24-inch range. It's heavy, so it goes to a 3. It's the most accurate of these, other than the auto hitting.
Yeah.
And then there's trypophobia gun.
Yes.
And the flesh pistols.
Yes.
I can't decide between those two which one I like more.
Yeah.
Because I want more shots. The one that just comes in Leviathan, the Spine Tangler, it just has one shot at strength 5, which is not bad, but I want more shots.
Yeah.
I want to shoot 40 shots with my 20-man unit.
That being said, for a low-cost unit like this, what makes Termagants so great is strength 5 damage.
Yeah.
That's an absolutely, you're even wounding Marines on 3s.
It's true.
Yeah, you're not getting a lot of shots through the armor, but you only need a couple, right? To punch up, which I think is what they're very good at.
That's true. Because even a full unit is 120 points.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Pretty darn cheap.
Yep.
Now on to Genestealers. Another glow up. We're kind of doing all the glow up guys first.
We're doing the glow. Well, and we have 2 more glow ups over here.
Sort of. They only kind of count because that's a glow up and then a splitting into 2.
True.
I mean, I know the Nero Elector is technically a glow up, but we haven't seen it for 20 years.
Yeah. No, I was counting the Death Leaper. Death Leaper and Lictor both previously existed, and they were very bad looking.
Right. So here's 2 of the 3 Genestealer Sculpt Sprues. Genestealer Sprues.
Genestealer Sprues.
I'll swap them out. This one, they are better.
They are better.
They
I know
are so
you're
much
not
better.
as much a fan of these.
I am not hot on these guys.
I like them. I already have 13 Genestealers, and I don't think I'm getting more anytime soon. They're not good enough.
Right.
In either faction that you can play them in, because I play both, for me to justify a second unit, let alone 3.
Yeah.
Whereas, I could see myself getting Hormagaunts and Termagants just by the dozens.
Right. Yeah, Genestealers are kind of weird. Their shtick is that they get to reroll wounds against things on objectives, which is very good. And their attacks do have a fair chunk of AP and a fair chunk of strength, so you can pretty easily butcher through light to medium infantry on objectives.
Yeah.
But that's not that special in 40k right now.
It's not, and they're significantly more expensive. They're 85 points for a unit of 5. Granted, they have 2 wounds apiece. They're a bit tougher.
Yeah.
And an invuln save, which is pretty good.
Yes.
So they're a little bit tougher, but they basically do the same job as the battle line.
They do get a little bit better with the Broodlord.
True.
But the Broodlord went up in points in the new, I believe.
No, the Broodlord... actually, it might have went up in points since the Index.
Right.
It did not go up in points in the new...
No, they went up in points since the Index, I believe. So their stock's kind of down right now.
Yeah.
They also suffer from all of these guys have 1 foot attached to the base thing.
Yeah. Showing speed is,
I mean, I guess it's better than drawing little lines around them.
Little anime lines.
Painting anime lines. And then we've got the Biovore, or Pyrovore, depending on how you build it.
Right.
This one also a possibly even bigger glow up than the others, because this is one where we're going from resin to plastic. And that alone
Just a god-awful sculpted
it
resin.
was resin, and it was bad resin.
Yep.
Not much plastic for the cost, I will say that.
Yeah, it's a little low. You do get the spore mines as well. So even if you build the pyrovore, you get spore mines, which you can just buy.
Yep.
The biovore is kind of where it's at though, and that one did go up in price.
That being said, you probably will never buy the spore mines by themselves. And
You're probably right.
and a biovore is functionally an auto-clued in Codex Tyranids right now. Yeah. They're good on their own, but the ability to launch out spore mines, not just for their battlefield control where they can reduce run and advances, the main thing is secondaries.
Yeah.
There are so many secondaries in 40k right now that want you to have things around the board.
Yep.
And being able to just yeet a spore mine up the board 18 inches for a secondary.
Oh no, I got in your opponent's deployment zone. Thunk, thunk.
Yeah,
I got
they
it.
have an easier time of that than anybody except maybe Inceptors and Marines.
Yeah.
And even they can't drop in the deployment zone
And they're way more expensive.
on turn 2. Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, the Biovore also has a decent cannon shot.
Yep, it's true.
So
It's pretty good. There's a reason it over doubled in price since the index.
yes, it basically doubled in points, and it's still probably an auto-include to have one of these in your list.
Yep. You can see that. And the model looks
Thankfully, it also looks amazing.
fantastic.
The
I love
cannon
that
looks
model.
great. The living artillery thing is probably done better here
Yeah.
than even in the Barbgaunts, which do it very well.
Mm-hmm.
This one also very, 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 very closely invokes the artillery bugs from Starship Troopers, where they had
I haven't seen Starship Troopers.
everything here is kind of inspired a little bit by a combination of aliens and Starship Troopers.
Right.
But this one especially is very kind of reminiscent of that.
That's fair.
So, 3 flavors of Lictor.
Yes.
Let's start with the classic.
Classic Lictor. So we're doing these in order for.
We want to see
Yeah.
if the sprues are at all the same. Actually, if you just like to open those for me.
Let's not mix the sprues up.
Why? We're all giving them the same person.
That's true.
So here's the new Lictor sprue. Again, not a ton of plastic for the cost. And here is the Death Leaper sprue.
Death Leaper sprue.
They are not at all the same.
No, you're right.
So and there's camera record of this. You can laugh at us for it. We were on record as saying that
That's it for the.
we
Lictor.
thought that this was the same kit that was going to just have 3 different variants.
Yeah.
Not remotely true. It's 3 entirely different kits. If you look at the 2 sprues for the Lictor and the Death Leaper, they are not even close to being the same. So despite the genetic similarities both in universe and in design philosophy, obviously, they're really not that similar.
They're not.
Which on the one hand is kind of funny because, I mean, if you look at the box art and look at the Lictor and the Death Leaper,
Yep.
like I could have sworn that they were the same because they both are doing the same pose with their clauses.
Yeah.
Clauses. But they're not.
There's fancy clauses. Yeah, like these two are almost identical.
Uh-huh. And I thought that was, for me, that was my giveaway that they're the same kit, just with different options. Nope. And they're also not even the same price.
No, they're all different prices. And it makes sense that the Neurogaunt is going to be the cheapest because there's only one half sprue, which, yeah. So that's the rest of the
Death Leaper.
Death Leaper.
With his little cape. No capes. Or yes capes, I guess. Now, last but not least, the Nero Lictor. He's going to lick your Neros.
Oh no.
And that is terrifying. Honestly, that's what he does.
That's scary.
This one is, again, he is the cheapest. He's only, what, 40 bucks?
40 bucks, yep.
Yeah. So this is functionally a boxed character,
Yeah, which is interesting.
both in role and in price. So we talked about this when these came out, but all of these are amazing looking. Absolutely fantastic looking. So the Death Leaper actually went down in points from the index to Codex Tyranids, while staying just as good.
Yeah.
Death Leaper is verging on auto-include.
Really?
For what you get for him, I think.
Wow.
Compared to the Lictor. Now, the Lictor unfortunately lost his invulnerable save,
Ooh, that does suck.
but he went down in points.
Okay.
That being said, I think if you're going to invest in that kind of lone operative with the Lictor, you just pay a little bit more points to get like the lone operative keyword and stealth and an invulnerable save.
Yeah.
The Death Leaper is the combination of very good, has great rules, and is appropriately priced.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think one of the best ways to play Tyranids right now in Codex Tyranids is with the Vanguard detachment.
It's really strong.
And that one focuses on the Leapers and the Lictors and basically anything that can fly or be stealthy.
Yep.
And they're good outside of that detachment. In that detachment,
They're amazing.
they're really good.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I'm not going to say all these are auto-include, especially not the Lictor, but the Neurolictor is very cheap and very good for his points.
Yeah.
And the Death Leaper is real good.
Yeah.
Plus, they all look amazing.
I am noticing a pattern of basically less than 100 points, single model, lone operative, usually very good.
The only downside of the Death Leaper is he's also he's a named character.
Right.
So you can't put enhancements on him, and you can only have one.
Yep. Like the Changeling is fantastic. Who's the other one? I read the Blue Scribes. Sorry, I'm going into demons for a second. I read the Blue Scribes, and I was like, these guys are garbage. They're in every list because they're like 45 points and a lone operative. They're just that good.
In 40K right now, Games Workshop seems to want to make all of those flavorful hero characters very attractive options.
Yes.
Especially if you look at the points drops from the latest points drops.
Yeah.
Basically, all the named hero characters went down.
Yeah.
I played Dark Angels. Azrael dropped 15 points.
Yep.
And went from being real good to real good.
Yeah. Which is crazy because the change from 9th to 10th, all of those guys went down already.
Right.
Like a unit that used to be 170 points is 100.
Yeah.
Gone.
Anyway, we kind of got off track talking about 40K there.
Well, yeah, we're in the 40K realm.
That was the joke. And then we've got the Norns. Norn!
Did it again.
Yes, and I'm going to do it every time. You have the Assimilator and the Emissary.
Yep.
These are new.
Yes, these
Brand
are
new.
Brand new. No glow up here.
No glow up.
Just straight glow.
Yeah, just straight glow because good heavens, again, absolutely astounding model.
I love this kit. It is taking a lot of willpower not to buy one of these already.
Uh-huh. First one we get today that comes with the tray.
Yeah.
And first one I'm not going to be able to fit on.
Not together.
So there's kit number 1. Base size, I think that's 100 mil.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Whoop, 100 mil.
We can look at the instructions and find out.
Shoop. Yeah, it's the same mill as same mill.
Yep, 100.
Same base as a field ordnance battery.
Or a
Hashtag,
greater demon.
Hashtag guard player. So the Norn. The Norns. Rules wise, I'm not going to say disappointing.
I think they're great.
They're great. It's kind of funny though, because the Emissary, I always get them confused. One of them is the tough one, and one of them is the damage one.
The Emissary is the tough one, I believe, because it has the invuln save.
Yes, it has an invulnerable save. It's hard to kill. The Assimilator is more damaging. Oddly,
Yeah, it's like purely offensive.
just because of where we're at in 40K with the amount of anti-tank, anti-monster out there, the Emissary is probably better.
Probably.
Because you can put him on the table and be fairly confident he's not going to get mulched in one shot by a Baneblade or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, a Baneblade might still mulch in one shot,
Maybe.
but, not a Predator.
No, it has a 4-up invuln. I'll never fail to save.
You won't. So yeah, great kit. There is a sub-faction in the Codex for Monster Mash. I don't think it's not very good.
No, I think so. I've heard from a few sources that they're basically paying for the sins of the past.
Yes.
Because Crusher Stampede was
Brokenly overpowered.
brokenly overpowered the last time it was out, and now it's like, hey, look, guys, it's still here. Please don't break the game.
Right. If you want to break the game, you play Vanguard.
Yeah, just go play Vanguard. It's fine.
I'm going to swap out.
That being said, it is still very flavorful.
Yes.
I do like it. The problem with it is it does have the if you're damaged, get +1 to hit. If you're below half, get +1 to wound as well, which is kind of dependent on your opponent hurting something but not killing it.
Right, which is a bad move in 40K.
Which is a bad move in 40K. Granted, the Emissary might actually survive an onslaught other than from, like you said, a Baneblade or something way more expensive than it. I like them a lot. I definitely want them. Their sculpts are amazing. I love how imposing they are.
Yeah.
They're just gorgeous. And I like that they have a new centerpiece model.
Yes.
Because all of the centerpiece, everything we've been seeing has been like 40, 50 or lower.
Yeah.
Except for this guy, and he deserves it.
The new old monsters. The old monsters do hold up.
Oh, yeah,
fairly well. But this is a step above in quality and sculpt quality and how great it looks.
Yep.
My favorite is the Emissary, both rules and visually. personally. I know the brain thing is kind of weird, but I like how weird the brain thing is.
It is really weird.
But I like it.
It has like 14 brains.
Right, and I don't know. I like that a little more.
It is pretty cool. And it, like you said, it's also pretty tough.
Yes, and I love me and my tough monsters.
Yeah.
And that's it for the models, but we also have, of course, as with any release, data cards. Which are data cards. I mean, they have all the data on them.
They do have the data.
If you buy the codex, which you are probably going to do if you're buying the data cards, you could just go onto the app and get all of these.
Yep.
And you don't even need to pay for the app to get this part of it.
Yeah.
You only need to pay for the app if you want to use more than one army in the builder.
Yeah.
Which we didn't talk about that when it happened.
No.
But I liked that they did that.
Yeah, it's better than you don't get the builder.
That being said, I will say it was very disappointing to, this came out. And then I was like, oh, I want to go look up some Tyranid stats to see what I want to buy. And I can't.
Yeah.
Because unless you buy this codex, those stats are locked on the app.
The worst part, someone was here playing last night, and the codex was not out, and it was still locked.
Right.
So they couldn't.
Yep.
They literally couldn't.
Yep.
So a little off on the timing there. GW.
Yeah, you shouldn't have locked it until this came out.
Yeah.
That is very, very silly.
Yeah.
Because even somebody who had bought the app or the book, like if he pre-ordered this, he
You would still have to wait.
Right. There's nothing he can do to access it, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Not as thick as previous codices.
I agree. I think they're attempting to do less fluff and more rules, which I think is fine. Also, remember that every detachment is down to 1 page worth of rules.
Yeah.
So it's not like
1-page rules, TM.
Yeah. Yeah, GW TMs it.
They didn't pass the savings on to us. It's still $60.
Still $60.
Some of them were $65 though, weren't they?
No, some of them were cheaper.
Okay.
The supplements were cheaper, but all of the codexes were 60.
Gotcha. Okay. In either case, but they did pass the savings on to us with the dice.
We've been complaining about diceflation for so long, and now it's
Sorry, that was just the most pathetic thing to
it's
put
so
on the
it's so
closed cam.
small.
It is so small, but we get 16 dice now. No, 20 dice. Or
It's
16.
It's 16. It's 4x4
It's 4x4, 16 dice
for $32
for $32
instead of 5x3, so 15
instead of 15
for $35.
So we got one more dice and went down $3 in price.
Yeah, they literally gave us more for less, and that's a new for GW.
Well, you know what? The packaging doesn't have any plastic on it, and that alone.
Yeah, that's
I'll take that.
That's an A in my book.
You know what? Hey, as much as we've been complaining about diceflation, I guess we got to hand it to them. They finally undid it.
Yeah, Mitchell seal of approval.
And that's it for the releases this week. So all of this is dropping today at time of recording.
Yeah. So it'll already be out and available.
Yep. By the time you see this, it'll all be available, or rather, it probably won't be available because it'll probably all be sold out by the hordes, no pun intended, of ravenous players.
Yeah. It's
came-
past GW starting times.
Yeah. And it's gone. Overall, final thoughts.
As a first codex and a first release, this is great.
This is now the standard they have set for every codex and every release.
Yep.
And we have to understand that not every army is going to get a full model line refresh, especially not this edition. We have not read through the codex yet. It has been fully spoiled. So
It has been fully
all
spoiled.
of your favorite content creators have done that already.
Yep.
Brief thoughts on the codex. It is not an amazing power spike over their existing index.
I agree, except for maybe the Vanguard.
The Vanguard is better, but it's not as good as Gene Stealers or Eldari.
That's true. That's true.
And it's not game-breakingly good.
No,
It's fun and flavorful. So both in rules and in the presentation, they have set a gold standard.
They did great.
And we gotta hope they don't mess it up when Marines come out.
Yeah, Marines comes out. So this is what happened at the beginning of 9th edition, is that Marines and Necrons came out, and Necrons are like, oh my god, we're so competitive now. And Space Marines were like, hold my beer, to the top of the charts.
Right. We'll see.
We will see.
If they do the kind of minimal changes from Index to Codex Marines, that won't happen.
I agree.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I am excited about the future of 40K, which I can say I was not for the longest time, right?
See, I've been excited the whole time. I'm just a shill fanboy.
Well, I mean, like when I say like last edition, I was
sure.
trepidatious.
Yeah.
The trepidation is beginning to fade in favor of optimistic hard eyes.
Mitchell seal of approval. Josh Hardeyes.
That's it from us this week. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you heard, please leave us a like and a comment below. Let us know, are you excited for this as we are? Because we're both in the status of waiting for our paychecks to come in so we can buy a bunch of bugs.
Yep, I'm looking at so many books.
See you in the swarm.
Bye.